Muhammad. Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, who came to us in the person of a man.
That's right. Say that.
Right.
No spooks.
No spook.
The son of man.
Yeah.
Right.
Son of man, man, son of man must be a man.
Right.
In the name of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad,
It's not.
the black man from near Sandersville, Georgia, but the actual place is, I can hold it. But the actual place is Deep Step, Georgia, about 12, 13 miles from Sandersville, Georgia. And this black man, when he saw Master Farad Muhammad for the first time and heard him talk, he knew what he was looking at.
That's right.
And as it says in the street, it takes one to know one. So the name of the most, well, I can't say most because Mr. Farrakhan don't say that. So I said Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the best student
Yes, sir.
of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And if it were not for him, the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would have been lost to history.
Right. That's right.
Right.
And my personal boss, he's a boss over me in so many different ways. And every time I go to visit with him as the research group, I come back, I tell my wife, I said, look, I still got 2 jobs. I'm still a farm manager, and I'm still on the research team. Because you know, Dr. Richard gets in trouble all the time. Because I will ask a question, I will say something. Okay? So with their names, I'd like to greet you in the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, the idea of doing the urban gardens close to you is very, very important. When we went to Cuba, 2006, Mr. Farrakhan took us to Cuba, and I went out early in the morning checking things out, the hotel. And the main road went right past the hotel, but I noticed there were no refrigerated trucks.
Wow.
I said, no refrigerated trucks? So of course, you know, we was on a tour bus, and as we went to the tour, and so we said, listen, me and brother, the math doctor, Shahid, I said, man, let's get off the bus. He knew a little Spanish, so let's get off the bus. So we got off the bus, started walking around, when we saw a large raised bed garden. And so we went to the raised bed garden. It was big. And at the edge of the garden was a little produce stand. At the edge of the garden. Not only do they not have refrigerated trucks, but most of the people didn't have refrigerators. Every day they would come and get their fresh produce at their corner produce stand. Every vacant spot in Havana, they had raised bed gardens. Okay, they had 2 systems in Cuba. Your fresh vegetables were grown in the city. But if you would look at your plate right now, you would see that most of what you have on your plate is not fresh vegetables. You have rice, right? You have some chicken, you have some fish, you have some macaroni, which comes from what? Pasta, which comes from what?
Wheat.
From wheat, okay? You have the rice, what else do you have on there?
Beans.
Coleslaw, chicken, coleslaw, okay, you can do that in the city. But on a major plate, you have what? Beans and rice, right?
Right.
Every day, beans and rice and bread, right? Well, you don't do that in the city because you gotta have acres and acres of land to do your dry beans. Now, you can grow some native beans out back, okay? And when you finish and you harvest it, you might have a third of a half of a cup. Okay? A third of a half of a cup. Now, you can grow wheat back there. But when you harvest the wheat, you're going to have half of that. Okay? So, you need two systems. And that's what we're trying to set up in the Nation of Islam. You need the large farms like we have in South Georgia. We do the wheat. And from the wheat, we do the flour. And we do the cream of whole wheat and the muffin mix. Okay?
Delicious.
Because it's so hard to get product even this far. Because somebody got to be back at the farm. Right now, we pray Allah, nobody comes and steals our 2,000 watermelons that we got sitting underneath the sheds. Ain't nobody there. Because we up here. Ain't no mystery God. So somebody got to be in the management farms. And so in Cuba, I say the fresh vegetables were in town. But the major food that people ate was black beans and rice, right? Well, the black beans and the rice were produced on large farms, cooperatively owned farms, way out in the countryside. Also, your potatoes, okay, and your wheat. And they would bring in once a month, everybody would get a ration of rice, potatoes, black beans. They get, now, what was interesting about the bread, we was riding in the bus, and we saw people go into an apartment building and come out with bread, but there's no sign. No sign for bakery, but everybody knew who was the baker. The bread baker. So they went there every day, and they went and got their bread. Now, and the meats, unfortunately, they eat a lot of pork, but all the meats and the milk and your tree crops were grown away from the city. Okay, because you need large acreages. Now, people want to grow watermelons, and we say you can go grow watermelons, you can try. But those of you who have tried to grow watermelons in your garden, what happens? Huh? Two of them, but they'll spread out and take over everything. They'll spread out their vines, they'll spread, you know, and they'll steal water from everything you touch. Watermelons get water from 3 different places. They get it from the rain. They get it from 4 different places. The rain, the dew, that's 2. The roots, that's 3. And on each vine, they got little suckers. And these suckers will catch hold to a weed and suck the water out the weed. Wow. The watermelon ain't no joke. We designed the watermelon to survive in a semi-arid to arid climate because remember, it draws water from the air. Anything grows, it's going to wrap around and still is water. It'll go deep in the ground to get water. That's why we designed it. And it's a vegetable. We call it a fruit, but it's a vegetable. It's in the cucurbit. It's in the cucumber, the squash. It's in that family. So watermelons is really a vegetable, but it's just a sweet vegetable. And it has a lot of the medicinal activities of the, why are you laughing? We got 9, right? Of the vegetable. Okay, you got 9, right? Okay. Good thing. Watermelon is good for that. Forget the Viagra. Get you some watermelon. But make sure they got seeds in it now.
I take one.
Okay, make sure they got seeds in it. So yeah, the watermelons, we got a sample here, but you get your watermelons outside and put in your car when you're ready to leave. Okay? So now another thing about Cuba. Cuba has not been attacked by America for 2 reasons now. I know one, but I think I found another one. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But there's no guns in the city. The police don't even have guns. If America, anybody attacks Cuba, they take everybody out of the big cities. They put them on buses. They put on their uniforms. They leave all their other clothes there. They don't take nothing with them except the uniform that they put on. They get in ranks. Get on the bus, everybody knows what bus they're supposed to get on, and the bus knows where to go, so go to a farm. And the farmers are required to save some extra meat and food to the side all the time in case there is some type of war or there's hurricanes or floods or whatever. And the farmers are the ones who have the guns. And they will train the people when they come out to the farms. Because remember, it was guerrilla warfare. It was the farmers who won the war, not the city people. So in Cuba now, it's the farmers who are trained to do not only the growing, but the killing, and the training to both grow and kill. Okay? I'm a love when I be allowed to train so I can train to kill. But I'm just growing right now. Anyway.
Protect the land.
Okay, so this is what we learned by going to Cuba. So we want to set that same system up here in America. Every Mars study group needs to have at least an urban garden, if not a farm themselves, at least some urban garden, so you can have some food grown close to hand. And don't worry about making mistakes.
Come on, say that.
Because, you see, the old system was parents would teach the children. When they broke that system up, when they ran the black farmers out of business, and we're going to talk about it later on, and now we got to restart. So you're going to make mistakes, but remember everything you did, wrong and right. Because from that you begin to learn and grow. Now we've been at Muhammad Farms for 23 years, and I know the land. Okay? Oh, praise be to Allah. That applause should be for Minister Farrakhan and not me. Because he's the one who didn't fire me. Okay? He had faith and patience in me so that I could grow. Okay? So now I am the best watermelon grower in these United States. Okay? I mean, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what people say when they eat the watermelons. All right? So until somebody else comes up and take the crown, you know, wear that crown, that's what everybody talking about, Muhammad Farms watermelon. Now, the lecture today, I'd like to thank the white man from doing two tremendous things. I'd like to thank the white man for producing seedless watermelons. I thank him for that.
Yes, sir.
Because now everybody who got sense wants some seeds in their watermelons.
Come on, say that.
And so the brothers told me in Chicago, when they took the watermelons up there, people drive past and ask, "Has it got seeds in it?" And they said, "Yeah, we got seeds." They took right over. So I'd like to thank the white man for producing seedless watermelons and got them all over the country to the point where now black folks is upset. Our praises are due to them. And I'd like to thank Whole Foods
Thank you.
for selling out. Oh yeah, I eat my Whole Foods. I'm running Whole Foods. Whole Foods now on my Amazon. And Amazon don't give a kitty about your health. As a matter of fact, they're not going to label GMO no more. Whole Foods said they was going to do it, but now Amazon done bought it. They said, well, we will look into it. And this is but they said, and Amazon said, what we're going to do, we're going to label it according to the USDA instructions. Now, the new USDA instructions on labeling GMO, listen very carefully, it goes like this. If you got a product and the major ingredient is not a GMO crop, they don't have to list the other ingredients as whether they're GMO or not.
Wow. Say that again.
You didn't catch it, huh?
I got it.
You didn't catch it, huh? If you look on the back of any processed food, you have your major ingredient, number one, right? Then you have all these other ingredients. Well, if the major ingredient is not GMO, then the other ingredients can be GMO and they don't have to tell you something. Now, what does that mean? What that means is, at one time they tried to GMO, trying to genetically modify tomatoes. And they came up in 1996 with the Flavor Savor tomato. But it was one problem with the Flavor Savor tomato. It didn't have no flavor. Allah God gave you a tongue and a nose.
Right.
And with your tongue and your nose, you can pick out poison.
That's right, say that.
You can smell it, you can taste it, you say, this ain't right. Don't smell right, don't taste right.
Right.
So when they try to genetically modify the produce that you eat directly, they found out that people can tell. So they said, well look, we'll get them to eat processed foods. And in every processed food, including whole wheat bread,
Come on, say it.
from the store, you will find soy flour. Okay? You will find high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
You will find corn starch. And the major crops that they have genetically modified are soybeans, corn, cottonseed oil, and canola. Those are the main ones. And you're going to find one or more of those products in every processed food that you buy in the store.
I bear witness.
So, once they process it and throw in some other chemicals in there to fool your tongue and your nose, then you won't know. So, by this definition of the USDA in terms of qualifying or telling what's GMO, they really hit the snake in the pie. So now you think it's all right because it don't say it's GMO, but what underneath it is a GMO, and that's all they want, just so they can get a little bit in you. And what's the major problem with the GMO? The farmers don't even know. The farmers didn't want GMO to kill you. The farmers, I'm going to show you in a minute, the farmers have been set up by the chemical companies to where they are dependent on these chemicals by which they can grow food, to protect them against, in particular, the weeds and the insects. But the weeds are the big deal in Southwest Georgia. Big deal, big deal. The weeds, they eat the nutrients and the water from your plant. You got to keep the weeds away from your plant because they're going to take up the water and nutrients. Now, when you have a nice raised bed out there, you just go out there and pull the weeds out of the ground, right?
Yeah, come on, say it.
It's no problem. But when you got 900 acres of cropland that we have on our 1,600 acre farm, that's about 900. Okay, don't mind how many even do anymore. 800 football fields. 800 football fields. You can be pulling some weeds in 800 football fields. Okay. So these farmers are dependent on these chemicals. So what they have done, now that the farmers are dependent on the chemicals, they went and GMO'd, genetically modified. Monsanto started it, but actually it wasn't Monsanto. It was the U.S. Department of Agriculture who did the research and then gave it to Monsanto.
Come on.
Your tax money paid for the development of a germ that kills sperm. And that's what's in the genetically modified corn, soybeans, cotton, and canola. It is a germ that destroys sperm. All right? If the woman eats it, her body becomes immune to sperm. If the man eats it, it kills his sperm. See, you play with the devil, you will get hurt. We've been playing with the devil. We've been told who he was, but we've been playing because he's smiling at you. Hell, he'll make a baby through you and sell your baby. He's been doing that. So just because he sweet talk you, he ain't got no heart. He ain't gonna know what love is. That's why they commit suicide. They don't know about no love. All they know is what they want, what they can get, what they can use. Okay? So, now let's get into the show. So I'm starting off Muhammad Farms versus Whole Foods in Amazon. The case of watermelons. I'm going to take you through some watermelon production in the process, the way they do it, the way we do it, so you kind of understand the situation, because when these chemical companies cut these farmers off, these farmers are not going to produce. They're not going to produce. Because they're not going to make no crop. Because they don't have no more labor to do it. They're dependent on these chemicals. Okay, first slide. This is what's happened to the economy. Back in the 1900s, you had a bunch of small farmers who would go to the farmer's market, and the consumers would go to the farmer's market and get their products.
Yes.
In the 1960s, you moved to the farmers would buy a lot of inputs, like fertilizers and chemicals, the family farms, large family farms. Then they would sell it to a wholesaler, they would sell it to a retailer, and then the consumers would get it from the retailer. the 1980s, the input companies got bigger and the corporate farms took over the family farm. And then the corporate farms sell straight to the supermarkets. They don't even go through a wholesale. They go to the big supermarkets and you go to the consumer. Now we're in the process of corporate farms going directly to mega retailers like Walmart. Now people say, well, Dr. Richard, why don't you get your watermelons in Walmart? Why don't you get the other products in Walmart? Everything you see in Walmart is in their own consignment. Walmart don't pay nothing up front. So the farmer puts in his watermelons, and Walmart will pay them 90 days after the watermelon sale.
I don't know how to eat.
Now, how he go pay his help?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And then who knows what sold and what perished?
Right.
They can lie, right?
That's right.
So people tell me, my wife, she's going for training in that in terms of how you go to get into retail of the University of Georgia. She can tell you. You put yourself in there on consignment, and it's up to you to sell it. When you see people in there doing taste testing and all that, that's not the store. That's the company that got their products in their own consignment, because the store don't give a kitty because the store ain't paid nothing for it.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, they even charge you space on the shelves. You got to pay, put your stuff on their shelves, and they still don't pay you until 90 days after they sell it.
Gangsta operation.
Straight up. Huh? Same thing. They don't pay nothing. When you go down to Lowe's, have you ever noticed when you buy some plants from Bonnie's plants, a lot of times they look all dried up? Because those are Bonnie's plants. Those are not Lowe's plants.
Oh my God.
So they have no incentive to water them.
Wow.
That's Bonnie's problem.
Wow.
They don't care. They ain't paying nothing for it. So homie don't play that. I'm not putting myself in a situation.
Talk College Park like that.
Okay? I ain't gonna put myself in a situation like that. Come on now. No, you pay for that. Muhammad Farm, you pay for that when you get it, yo or no. Ain't no credit. Ain't no consignment. You either cash or PayPal or no pay. That's it.
Cash and carry.
That's it. We don't play that.
Cash and carry.
Okay? That's what Elijah Muhammad taught me.
Taught you well.
Taught me well. See, I was in the first. I was selling watermelons in 1973 and 74.
Come on, man. Come on.
I was selling eggs door to door. 1774 at Temple number 56 in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, while I was in college. And in the mornings, I would bake the bread and bean pies and put them in the stores and then go to my classes.
Come on. Come on.
All right? We've been doing this. Now, I went to college to go into agriculture, and I visited the farm down there in Georgia in 1975. And I thought I was going to work on that farm when I got out of college in 76, but by that time, they still had the land, but they sold all the equipment. They wasn't farming no more. Somebody else was renting it, so that was it for me. So I had to go into something else. I went on and got my master's, got my PhD. Then I was out selling papers in Raleigh, North Carolina. I got a phone call and said, Dr. Ridgely, Spring Captain want to talk to you. I said, yes, sir. He said, look, I'm down here in Dawson, Georgia, and Minister Willie said, you the man in terms of agriculture. I said, okay, I'll meet up, no problem. So boom, I meet up with the minister, I get put on the land as the farm manager, and a year later, and when I first went down there, I went to Dothan, Georgia, Dothan, Alabama, looking for the old farm, because I thought the farm was in Dothan. Remember, this is 19 years, I forgot all about this. Wow. And a year after I was down at the farm, I passed by a hill with some trees on it, leaving Dawson going back to the farm, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. I was here. It wasn't in Dawson. It was in Dawson.
Wow.
And so I'm now the farm manager. 19 years after I thought I was going to work on the farm, I get put back on the farm as a farm manager. See, I happen to know personally that Allah came in the person of Master Farad. In terms of my life.
Right.
Because I didn't plan it. I had completely forgot about that farm. And here I was put on position on that farm, And somebody else was supposed to be put on the position first, but that brother couldn't do it because he had a family situation. His family didn't want to move. I had a family situation. I was getting in the middle of a divorce.
Wow.
So I was glad to get the hell out of Greensboro, North Carolina. And now I got me Sister Queen over there. That's the second best decision I made. The first best decision I made was joining the Nation of Islam. That's the first thing. But that's the second best decision I made, okay? Now, so what's going on now? Amazon is buying up everybody. It's like a fish eating, big fish, little fish until there ain't no more water in the pond. That's what's going on. International banks are financing it all, and it's all owned by the firms. It's a planned economy. This is what you were running from Russia, right? Wow. Welcome to Russia. Yeah. Welcome to the planned economy. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Amazon is buying up everything.
Yeah.
And right behind them is buying up everything. Of course, is China. China's buying up everything. And Trump is going to sell America to China, trust me. And he's going to wind up the richest man in the world after he gets out of office. You can't claim him now, but his children and his people is buying up when those white farmers commit suicide. Now, let me tell you, the white farmers are driving around in Lamborghinis not because they're farming. They're running around Lamborghinis because they're selling the farms to the Chinese for $9,000, $10,000 a day. Okay? They're not making money farming. They're selling their land to the Chinese. And they're getting out of farming. So I'm explaining to you, y'all think y'all eating good right now? They ain't gonna be good in the neighborhood in just a minute. And when China get hold of that land, the Chinese people in China cannot buy land. They only lease it. And when they found out you can come to America and buy land and pass it on to your children, and they got all the dollars in the world because America stopped manufacturing, and now the Chinese manufactured everything and got them dollars. They got so many dollars, they ain't got nothing to do with the dollar. Nobody wants the dollar because the dollar is no more the currency for the selling of oil. So nobody don't want the dollar except America. So what the Chinese gonna do? They gonna buy up America. So you gonna wind up leaving a white plantation, you gonna on a yellow plantation. We know a brother in particular who that happened to. Brother, the captain in Chattanooga. Brother, Brother Eddie. Brother Eddie used to work for General Electric, no, Western Electric. They sold to Haier, a Chinese company. Okay? It's happening all over America. The Chinese buying everything. Chinese are buying cities. Whole little towns Chinese are buying. We ain't paying attention. They slip right up underneath it. You better get these 8 states. Though when China get it, you ain't gonna get them in China. They got kabillions of people. They bring them over here. All right? So kabillions. So you're gonna have to get yourself together right quick, because it's about to be over. All right? The Chinese will give you a job. Take that wheelbarrow, run it down there, pick that up, and bring it over there. That's what we were doing. Okay. Next slide. Okay. This is Seedless, and this is Muhammad Farm. Now, that don't look right to me. I mean, it's red, but it looks like it's a white person. What I'm saying, it's flat.
Right.
Ain't got no features.
None.
Flat and no features. That's white folks.
That's right.
Like they take a white person and paint them orange.
Right.
You know, like the president. But this here is the real deal. See, you know, I'm telling you how they got you on that. See, Americans are so lazy. Americans don't want to spit out seeds. That's sorry. That's sorry. You so lazy you don't want to spit out a seed? That's sorry. Well, this swallow seed is good for your bowels. Come right through, clean you out. Praise the Lord. Bear witness, right? Next slide. Next slide. Okay, now I'm not going to be able to show you all of these. I'm going to show you the number of chemicals that the commercial farmers have to use for their crops. So you come out with the same size crop, come out at the right time. Okay, disease control, downy mildew. These are different types of chemicals they use just for downy mildew. There's gum and stem blight. There's a whole list of them. This is just for disease control. Next slide. This is from the University of Georgia. Next slide. Weed control, curcumins. This is cantaloupe, watermelon. Okay, water, he actually growing at primitive grasses. Cleastodine, all right? Select max, tap out. Next slide. And here's another whole list of chromosome, command, 3ME. Now there's a whole lot of list down here on this stuff. I'm just showing you what, otherwise so you can at least read some of it, because there's a whole list of all this stuff. But this is what the farmers are using for weed control. Next slide. Insect control. This is the pest. This is the insecticide. This is a whole list of them. This is what they use. And if you're gonna do commercial watermelons, you're gonna do it like that. If you do commercial sweet corn, there's a whole list of chemicals that you got to use. If you don't use them, they're not gonna buy it from you at the market. I'm just telling you what I know, because I've been out here trying to sell. All right. Next slide. And a lot of irrigation water. All right? Now, next slide. No, go back up. I didn't put on this is what you call them, I meant to. Okay, there's a whole list of fertilizers that they use on watermelon. A whole list of them. They put out about 175 pounds per acre of this fertilizer.
Wow.
And when the vines run, they put on another 25 pounds of sodium nitrate at the top dress. And the sodium nitrate is what you taste in their watermelons. When you bite their watermelons, the watermelons bite you back. In other words, you can at least an aftertaste. A little sting on your tongue, right? That's sodium nitrate. Okay? When you bite into our watermelon, not only is it sweet, there is no bite you back, no aftertaste. Because it's all natural. But that comes at a tremendous cost to me and my workers. Okay? And we don't put a lot of water on the watermelons, because if you put too much water on the watermelons, they're going to be big, but they're not going to be sweet. There's got to be a balance between water and sun. The sun is what makes the watermelon sweet, because the photosynthesis of the leaves changes the energy to sugar. The sun's energy to sugar. So you got to have water to make the vines grow and the watermelons to grow, but then you got to have enough sunshine. Without the sunshine, they won't be sweet. So it's got to be a perfect combination, and not every place in America can grow watermelons because it doesn't have that perfect combination. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Multitask, black man, multitask. Now, what we do at the farm, we put down a plastic mulch. Okay, you see this plastic?
Yes, sir.
And we cover, that's what keeps it in the ground, and we cover it right there. We put that plastic mulch down, and then we plant in that either with seedlings or with the seeds themselves. Next slide.
And that's to keep the weeds out, right?
That's to keep the weeds out.
Right.
And then he's putting seeds in those holes. Now, this machine here picks a hole in the ground, and it puts water in the hole. Okay? And we put liquid calcium in the water. And that calcium gives the plant strength, and of course calcium also changes the pH in the soil. So when you do your soil test, you got to put down some type of lime or something like that. Well, lime is calcium. Okay, that's what in lime is calcium. Okay,
So the pH got to be what, like 6, 7?
6.5 to 7 for watermelons and most of your crops. Okay. Okay, next slide. Now, go back one. Now, you see, we don't have, the plastic doesn't go way out here. It's just this little 18 inches right here. Well, this gives our watermelons a fighting chance to get going before the weeds get growing, right? But then we come along, next slide. We come along with two different pieces of equipment that we have adapted particularly for our fields and our plastic and the width that we grow our plastic, the width that we lay our plastic, so that we can cut right next to that plastic. First with this one right here, then we come back later with this one right here 3 times, set these different spacings to take care of the weeds as the watermelon vines grow out. Now, something happened this year that was very interesting. Brother, switch to that one, the rain over Cuba.
Okay.
Rain over Cuba. Now I'm going to show y'all something that blew my mind. May 29th. The weather forecast said there was going to be raining for the next couple days and maybe a week or so. Well, it actually rained for 2 weeks. And when I heard about that rain, I immediately pulled out my last plow I had over here, and we ran that all night long. I ran it all night long. And then in the morning, my worker came in and he ran it from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But I ran it all night long. And around noon it started raining. And it rained for 2 weeks. Now, if I didn't plow that, when the rain had come, I could not get in there and plow it. That means them weeds were going to grow up in there, and I was going to be messed up. Okay? So, with a farmer, when nature tell you, you better do something, you better do it. Because she don't care.
Right.
You know, she ain't nothing personal. You heard the weather report, brother.
Right.
It told you, you had a heads up, I'm gonna rain you by 2 weeks. I expect you better do something. So we did. So you can thank those watermelons out there, the ones you see on the internet, you can thank Allah for that rain and for giving me enough sense to stay up all night and to plow them fields. Allahu Akbar. See, that's called submission. Right? That's called submission, not no lip submission. Behind submission. Okay? Sitting on that damn tractor all night, not going to bed. Okay? Now he's trying, what's up, bro? Computer, oh, the computer died?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord. Computer died. But anyway, okay, what I'm going to show you, okay, when it started raining, I went and looked at weather maps on, your AccuWeather, Weather Channel, right? I started looking at the weather maps, and indeed something was going on that was very strange. You got it up yet?
It's coming up.
Okay. And I just have to show it to you because you're not going to believe it when you see it. I didn't believe it, but it went on for a couple of days, 2 weeks, and then it stopped and it started again. Okay. I'm not gonna keep you here long because I know y'all done ate. and half of y'all sleeping right now with your eyes open. Okay. Next slide. Okay. This is May 29th. This is Cuba. This is rain. It's a heavy rain and light rain. You see that? You see that? That's not natural, y'all. Weather don't do that. Weather don't have that completely smooth cutoff like that. Weather don't do that. Nature don't do that. Here's another, at another time. Y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
Next slide. This is later in the day. You see that?
Oh, wow.
All right, this is May 30th. You see that? And it looks like somebody's starting a fire, right? And the smoke signal's going up, don't it? But that is rain clouds going up through Florida and wind up in Georgia. Now, if you look at the news, Florida, they're having big sinkholes.
Yes.
A lot of snakes coming out.
That's right, brother.
A lot of alligators coming out. Alligators, because the swamp, Elijah Muhammad said, do not buy land in Florida.
That's right. That's right.
He said Allah was going to put it in the water. Okay? Next slide. May 31st. Here it is right here. Still, here's Havana right here. There it is right there. This is June 10th. Look at that. Next slide. June 11th. Look at that, look at that, look at that. See that?
Wow.
Another June 11th. Later that day. You see that? Something is sitting over Cuba.
And it's round.
And it's round.
Wow. I think you know what it is. Oh, my God. That's deep.
There's another reason why America ain't attacking Cuba. Mr. Farrakhan gave us some information about the UFOs, and one of the incidents was over Cuba. and two American jets were over Cuba, and one of the jets saw the other jet get evaporated. So there's another reason why America is not fighting Cuba, in my opinion. All I can say is I'm seeing something that don't make no sense in terms of natural meteorological incidents. Something is going on over Cuba. Now you've also heard about the embassies in Cuba. Y'all heard about the embassies? You know, I heard about that? That the people are getting sick from the embassies. But I haven't heard anything about what the Cuban people are getting sick. Now in the embassies ain't nothing but CIA type of things for different countries. They're there to cause trouble, to steal information. So they got some type of equipment in there. And in my opinion, somebody is sitting over it, jamming up their equipment and having an after effect on the people in the building. I'm just saying. See, I had asked Allah to show himself, but I asked him to do it this way. I said, oh Allah, please, could you put a submarine on top of a battleship and then set it right down in the middle of the DC Mall? I would love to see their faces that morning. They got a submarine on top of an aircraft carrier in the middle of the DC Mall. How you gonna hide that? How you gonna move that? But you know, Allah knows best. He said, Doc, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna show you something. Now you watching me, I'm gonna show you something. I think he showed me something right there. Allahu Akbar. Okay, let's go back to the other slide. I mean, the other set of workshops. I just thought I'd drop that on you. I'm just saying. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Some ain't right down there in Cuba. That is right. All right. Okay, now, here we are in our field with all our weeds out there, throwing the watermelons. The other farmers ain't got to worry about the weeds, remember?
Because they have the chemicals.
The chemicals, right? Okay, next slide. Okay, now we got 2,000 watermelons minus 150 because two brothers came down this morning and got 150. Those kept running late. Praise be to God. Two brothers, 2 pickup trucks. Now some people are supposed to be picking these up, and as Muslims do, to me over the last 23 years, they left me in the lurch. Okay? So now, you know, they say they're coming on Monday. We got some other people coming on Monday and Tuesday. Inshallah, we'll sell these watermelons. But, you know, I've gone through this for 23 years. You know, word is bond and bond is life.
Yes, sir.
But when you break your word, there's effects on the fabric of the community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You affect other people that affect other people.
Yes, sir.
That's why, bond, you don't break your word.
That's right.
My wife would tell you, just like I did today. If I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna call to let you know I'm gonna be late. I don't care if it's 10 minutes late. I'm gonna call to let you know I'm sorry, I'm gonna be late. Because I don't like being left out that way.
That's right, brother.
So I don't leave people out that way. Sister Ann, will you bear witness? Thank you. I don't do that. I'm not perfect. I will cuss you out. I'm not perfect.
We know about that.
But I'm not gonna jam you up if I can help it. If I do, I didn't know. But I'm not. If I know, I'm not gonna do that.
Yes, sir.
All right, next slide. Okay, now these school buses. This is not us. This is school buses. They cut off school buses. These are the Mexicans in the fields, and they do it on both sides. Now, next slide. Here are the school buses that are owned by the farmers, but the pickers come in, and when they come in, it's only for a 2-week period. They get on these buses, they pick the watermelons, and then they follow the cycle to another state. Okay?
That's smart.
Okay? The farms some of the big farmers own farms in different states. And I'll show you why in the next few minutes. Next slide. And here they are at the packing shed, grading, checking and grading the watermelons, put them in the boxes, and ship them out. Okay, next slide. With the tractor trailers, next slide. Now these are the different major places where watermelons are grown. Okay, and here's Georgia right here, one of the biggest ones. Florida, Texas, Arizona, also California don't have them. Indiana's a big place. Arkansas, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Next slide. Okay, 17% of the watermelons are in Georgia, 19% in Florida, 16% in California, Texas, so forth and so on. Next slide. This is the important part. Now, these are climatic zones. Georgia is in this climatic zone, in the 8th climatic zone. Florida is in the 10th, and Texas in the 9th. Now this means that Texas and Florida can plant before Georgia. The watermelons will take between 85 and 90 days, I don't care where you plant them. So therefore, they can come in earlier. So they start growing and picking watermelons in Florida and Texas first. Then it moves up to Georgia. Then it moves up to Kentucky, Oklahoma, and then it moves up to Indiana. So what happens is, some of the big farmers, they own land in different parts of the country. So they're able to carry the watermelons through more than one season. People say, Dr. Ritchie, why don't you have watermelons for 2 weeks? Because we've tried to have watermelons for longer than that, but the watermelons that we plant, that come later, don't be as sweet. Mama Nature got her system. You obey her system, you get good crop. You don't obey your system, you won't get good crop. So if we want to have watermelons all summer, then we got to have a Muhammad Farms in each one of those groups.
Wow.
If we're going to have them all summer.
Yes, sir.
Okay? See, this thing, we got, look, Islam is what? Mathematics is what? See, wishing, hoping, dreaming. It don't work.
Never did.
Never did. Next slide. So, Georgia, June 25th when we start picking watermelons. Arkansas around August 1st, and North Carolina around July 1st. So what happens is, the season moves. Now, go back a slide, or two, one more. Go back one. Go back another one. Okay. Now, Georgia produces watermelons, right? Now, where are the markets? The major markets is in the Northeast, in the Midwest. Here's Chicago, right? New York City, Philadelphia, etc., right? Now, when North Carolina starts producing watermelons, North Carolina is closer to New York than Georgia is. Watermelons are heavy and variably not expensive compared to a computer chip. Okay? You get you a 20-pound computer chip, you can rule the world. Okay? But a 20-pound watermelon, okay? Therefore, with the shipping, it's going to cost a lot of money. So therefore, these here are closer to the big cities than Georgia is. So therefore, theirs going to be able to get to the market cheaper than this. So we have to drop our prices to even get back in that market. So we try to do everything down in Georgia before July 4th. Because after July 4th, remember, North Carolina would have kicked in. So therefore, Aileen, you're trying to compete for the major markets up in New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, because they're closer and they can get that cheaper. Islam is what?
Mathematics.
The mathematics is what?
Islam.
Now, I have a PhD in agriculture and economics. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
They didn't teach me that in them damn classes. I had to learn this the hard way. There's a lot of things I'm going to tell you in a minute. They didn't teach me this in Michigan State. See, that's a tricknology of this world. They come and take you and give you these degrees and you think you're educated, and they done kept your ass blind to the reality. So you can't compete with them because you do not know the reality of the world that they're dealing with. And when you get out of college, I don't care if you're in engineering, they're not going to put you on the shop floor. They're going to put you up in personnel. Give you $80,000, $90,000 to be in personnel to convince people that this is a good company.
Right.
But they're not going to let you get out on the shop floor because you might find out who their suppliers are.
Right. Right.
You might find out where their customers are. You might find out how to do something on your own. Because you're smart, so they don't want to put you where you can see nothing of value. Okay?
Yes,
So they take our best and they lock them away in a corner for them not to learn nothing, but they got an attitude, an arrogant, think they know something, you can't tell them nothing. And they ain't good for nothing because they don't know nothing. Took our best and slid them into them things. Yeah, I got my PhD. When I got my PhD, I told them crackers up there why I came up there to get my PhD. I said, I got my PhD because Negroes believe in your damn paper. I got your paper. I didn't come up here to work for y'all. I just want to get your paper. Okay, next slide. Children, I say some terrible words that you hear on your rap music all the time.
Yes, sir. All the time.
Don't play me. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Now, in 1910, black farms as a percent of all farms are in the South. They never gave us 4 acres and a mule, but we own over 60% of the farms in Mississippi by 1910. We own 50% in South Carolina, 40 to 50% in Louisiana, in Mississippi, and Georgia.
Wow.
You talking about the 8 states? You can look right there and see what the 8 states should be.
Right.
We should own the whole.
The ones that we, at one time, not only worked it and bred it, but we will own it. We about to buy up the South. And them crackers got on their horses and lynched us and burned us and terrorized us and ran us off. Most of the lynchings had nothing to do with no white woman. It had to do with somebody who had some land, or they were running for office, or they had a business, like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1921, where they flew in the airplanes and bombed the whole community, business community, and put an eternal engram in black folks about going for self.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Black folks know the white man is the devil because they tell you, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna go away? Y'all gonna go away somewhere? I'll tell you one thing, y'all gonna go away somewhere, the white man ain't gonna do it, come there and blow you up. That's the Negroes talking because of that engram in 1921 with Tulsa, that fear they have in them of being independent. But you know, I know we got a will.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You know, do what y'all gonna do. When I first went down there, I had my little pouch and I went down to the John Deere place to get some parts in 1995 right after the Man March. And they were standing around, 5 of them standing around, they were saying, ain't you a little nervous walking around here with all that money? And when I'm dealing with white folks, I don't even think. I said, number 1, it's not a lot of money. Number 2, it's not my money. Number 3, if you kill me, I'm sure you don't want 2 million niggas with bow ties coming out here looking for me. See, that was after me and Man Mom. That's what I told him. And guess what? Those same men from the John Deere place, listen to me carefully. Every company got tricks. You can't fix their damn equipment.
Right. Yes, sir.
These guys have made special tools so I can fix my own stuff instead of bringing it and paying $90 an hour.
Wow.
The same ones that were there that day when I laid them out. They shake my hand and respect me until now. And the crackers in Terrell County have asked me to run for county commissioner. And one day we gonna do that. Allahu Akbar, inshallah. See, everybody know who we are. I'm gonna give one more incident.
Come on.
A tractor went down where the farm is 2 miles long, 2 miles north and south, 1.5 miles east and west. They didn't have no cell phones back then. This is 1996. So the tractor was bogged down. I didn't know what was wrong with it. Some crackers came down the road. The road goes right through the middle of the farm. It's a county road. It's not a private road. And they stopped. So I got behind the big wheel tractor, listening. And he said to the other guy, he said, man, why do we have to break down, I don't want no trouble, why do we have to break down this black man's farm? Black man? They didn't say nigger. They didn't know, they didn't see me. They said black man. What black man you think they talking about? They ain't talking about Richard Banks. They ain't talking about Richard McMee. They talking about Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's what they talking about. See, I'm a own man. Understand? And I love it, being owned by the Nation of Islam and Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I love it. I love it. The only people bothering me are Negroes. Negroes are stupid. I mean, I almost got in fights down there with them Negroes.
Yes, sir.
I had to explain to them. I said, man, look, man, I don't want to fight you. And trust me, you don't want to fight me, brother. I said, you think I'm down here by myself? I said, man, I don't want you and your family messed up, man. Just chill out, man. Get out of my face. That's the only one I have any problems with the Negroes. I don't have a problem with white folks. Because see, white folk got sense. They don't believe on mystery God. They scared 2 billion niggas with bow ties. Okay, next slide. Look, in 1900, there's almost 10 million black people, and we own almost 16 million acres of land. By 1910, we were 10 million black folks who owned over 16 million acres of land. Before 1900, the white folks did not do a census to know how much land we had. They didn't know. They thought that we was going to die in the woods because they were the Jews had told them that we was inferior, but the Jews knew better. So the white folks thought that when we left them that we weren't going to make it. But here they saw their census that we were 10 million strong and owned 16 million acres of land. That's when they started lynching and burning us. Running us to the cities. Next slide. We almost finished. Next slide. Oh, on the next slide, man. Okay. No. Here are the lynchings. This 1870s, 1880s. This black line right here is the inventions. I want you to look at it. You see the inventions after slavery, and then drop. Here's the land right here, then start going down. But here's the lynching. Shoot. Wow. Then all of a sudden, bam.
That's because that's when the land stopped too. The invention stopped all of that.
What happened in 1930?
Wall Street fell.
Thank you. With Z-Plane. Z-Plane. See, Master Farad Muhammad did not have to come over here to kill white folks.
No, sir.
The plane was up in 1929. Y'all said, when the planes will come into effect? Well, he got no planes, why don't he kill the white man? He didn't come to come over here to kill the white man. He came looking for his uncle. Now, who's his uncle? Oh, let's get the mathematics. His uncle. He came looking for the brother of his father. It was his father who made him to come and get us.
Yes.
Sent us to find his brother. Why did he want to find his brother? Because it's time for the universe.
Yes.
And he's going to take the man, the people who have been downtrodden to the level of triple darkness and intelligence and spirituality. He's going to take that nothing and build a whole universe based on that nothing. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad will be the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir.
He didn't come over here to kill the white man. He came over here to make gods.
That's right.
And you Negro Muslims complaining about you being mistreated by other Muslims and by other folks. Mr. Farrakhan told me this. He said, brother, we have been 400 years without being in power. We're going to have to rebuild everything, including the leadership. He said, now look, this is the way you make a god. You throw a candidate into a pit of snakes. If he comes out, he's a God. If he don't make it, well, he tried. He said, we wish there was another way. But right now, that's it. I'm looking at So, these other people around you are there to make you into a God. They be beating the hell out you,
Yes, sir.
lying on you, lying to you,
Yes, sir. Every day.
huh? Talking behind your back,
Every day.
letting you down, calling you different names, right? Trying to make you look small, right? But what you do, you just keep on going. What? Seek refuge in Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Farrakhan said in a men's only meeting in Washington, D.C., he said that each person, God has put something special in each of us, and you have to find out what that is to serve humanity. And if you don't find it out, your God will kill you. So that means that you're going to commit slow suicide. If you don't find out who you are in the mission of Allah.
That's right.
You're going to be confused and unhappy. You're not going to have no peace. I have peace. Okay? I'm the watermelon man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm the watermelon man. Okay, I know who I am. Now, it's up to each of us to find out who you are. Not just, well, we black, we make our own piano player, but no. It's specific, what is your mission within the mission?
Yes, sir.
I had a brother ask me the question. He said, brother, how do you get powers? Powers. Muslim brother, powers. Who's in the field? Powers. I said, number one, what you going to do with it? Join the circus? Show people your powers? I said, when Allah and you in his mission, and when you need something, he'll give you that something so that you can do his mission. So if you need to fly, he'll give you wings. But he don't give you no wings for you to go out to a circle and show off to people. Look at me, I got wings. I can fly. I can read your mind. Watch me, I can levitate that stick. Come on now, this is foolishness. But whatever you need to satisfy his mission and your mission within that mission, he will develop that in you to fulfill your mission. And then he will find a friend, a companion to be with you, to help you in that mission, not for you to treat that person as something beneath you, that you are better, because you're on the same level as that person, that same person's on the same level as you. You just brothers and sisters making it happen in this travel from being a nigga to a God, that's all. Next slide. Okay, so this is what's been happening over time. This here is the price of corn. Okay, this is the price of corn. All right, this here is fertilizer price.
Wow.
This here is petroleum price. This here is labor per acre. That's all these are costs per acre. All this stuff is going, this is chemicals per acre. But this is the price of corn. 69 to 97 is level, that's flat line, right? So what's happening? The farmer are committing suicide because they can't get no more money for their crop. So they try to produce more because they can't get no money for their crop. But when they produce more, guess what? The prices go down because it's a glut on the market. So they put on more chemicals next year, and they wind up putting themselves in debt to the chemical companies. You see, we grow peanuts on the farm. Didn't do it this year. And we never had a big crop because we would put a lot of chemicals on it. But the insurance company, they was trying to roll up on me behind that one because they want you to put all their chemicals and fertilizer on it so you have a big crop. So anyway, I got this black farmer to tell me how to do peanuts. And I went by the book. Everything he told me to do, every chemical he told me to use, every fertilizer, every line, I did it on time, according to specifications, the way he told me. And we had 3 times the peanuts that we've ever had and lost money. Because after we paid the chemical and the fertilizer people, we lost money. Because the price of the peanuts did not cover the cost of production. Then you say, well, how the white farmers doing? Next slide. Next slide. I'm going to come back to that. Because the white farmers be getting subsidies over a 10-year period. White farmers got $1,000 per acre from 1982 to 1992. They got $1,000 per acre, and black farmers got $274 per acre.
Oh, wow.
And farm subsidies. Now, over a 10-year period, the white farmers at that time, land prices in the South were about $1,000. So in a 10-year period, from your tax money, they gave white farmers enough land, enough money to buy another acre of land for each land that they own. And guess who they bought it from?
Black farmers.
Because they had to sell out. Okay, go back up one. Okay, 1962. It's called an adaptive approach. This is what the Committee for Economic Development, these are the people who develop the laws and give them to Congress to pass. You know, you think the Congress people write the laws? No, they don't. They got think tanks that actually write the laws and they just pass the laws. Okay, anyway, Committee for Economic Development, 1962. We had an adaptive approach. This is what they said. They said, quote, net migration out of agriculture has been going on for 40 years and at a rapid rate. Nevertheless, the movement of people from agriculture has not been fast enough.
Wow.
Do I need to read that again?
No, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Net migration out of agriculture has been going on for 40 years. This is 1962 now, this came out. The movement of people from agriculture has not been fast enough. This adaptive approach recommended that, 1, vocational agriculture courses in rural areas be scrapped.
That's why they don't even teach us much.
Farm children be given college scholarships to study anything but agriculture. There's a war going on that you might want to know. You better find out from Monsanto. Germ warfare in the land and air, killing the sea so the sea won't bear. Agriculture prices be substantially lower. I thought this was a free economy, free markets. How the hell can you lower prices? That's playing economy stuff. That's Russian stuff, right? I'm telling you right now, man. They said what? Agriculture prices be substantially lower. And temporary income programs be instituted to protect the most suited for survival. Who the hell you think they're talking about? The white farmers. This is 1962. So they're playing all of this to run us off the land and to take your tax money. When you buying food, you paying for the food twice. You paying at the stove, and you already paid through your tax money. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. You know, I got a PhD and everything. I know a little bit about how to read information and stuff. So we applied what other white farmers were getting in terms of subsidies from Muhammad farms. And over a 10-year period, we got from 1995 to 2012, over that 14-year period, I mean, what's it, 5 from 12 is what? 7 and 9 from when? 17-year period, right? We got $141,000 total, right? This one farmer right here, he got $3.5 million on one of his farms and $3 million on his other farm. Wow. He's happened to be the head of the county commissioners in Terrell County. Okay, but he got $6.5 million in the same period that we did. Now, the nation's farm in Terrell County is 146th on the list.
Oh, wow.
However, Glenn Beck and Times, newspaper, they put it out that Mr. Farrakhan was getting subsidies from the government. So Mr. Farrakhan told us to give them the money back. So we gave him back $41,000 of that money. However, in Terrell County, there are 25 farmers who got over $1 million in that time period. There are 50 farmers who got over $500,000 from the government in that same time period. But yet they went way down here to us to put us on blast. Okay? So we don't get no subsidies. We can't use no chemicals. And y'all wonder how come doctors crazy.
Come on, Doc, say that.
It's amazing I ain't killed somebody.
Take these brothers.
But no, not gonna do that. You know why? I want to be a God.
That's right. That's right.
I want to figure it out. Whatever you lay on me, I'm gonna roll up and come back up on another side.
That's right.
I know what this is right here. All right. So look at this, man. These are just in one county, y'all. We're not talking about the state of Georgia. We're talking about Terrell County, Georgia.
Yes.
And I would not have researched this except they jumped on the minister.
Yes.
See, the same way with the Jews. The Jews are being exposed. Now the world know about that Talmud.
Okay.
Well, they shouldn't have thrown a rock at the minister.
That's right.
They threw a rock at the minister in 1984, 1985. They threw a rock at the minister. Guess what? You shouldn't throw rocks in your living glass houses.
That's right.
Now we're bricking your door.
That's right. 10 million with both sides.
That's right. 10,000 feelers everywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So I would not even research this if they had not jumped the minister. So now we know. And one day I'm going to run for county commissioner. Not this man. He retired. They passed it on to his son. That's how they do stuff down there. You know what I mean? So I'm going to run against him. When I run against him, you know, somebody going to pull out the fact that I ain't paid taxes in 30 years. Maybe even 40. But anyway, at least 30 years, I ain't paid no federal taxes. So somebody said, how can you be the county commissioner? You ain't paying no taxes. You're an American. I said, well, I decided I wasn't going to pay your daddy no more money. Your daddy got $6.5 million of the taxpayers' money, and I got tired of paying your daddy, and I'm not going to pay you, and you getting out of office. How about that? Oh, I'm waiting. This about to go down. This about to go down. Next slide. Now look, bread and wheat prices per pound. Let me show you what's going on in agriculture. 1915, wheat prices were 2 cents a pound. A pound of wheat makes a pound loaf of bread. Bread was 7 cents per loaf. Now bread is over $1.98, and wheat is 9 cents a pound instead of 2 cents a pound.
Wow. Wow.
Where the hell all the money go?
Yeah.
How come you paying that much money for bread and the farmer ain't getting no more money? Next slide. Here is 1920. The farmer received 2.63 cent per bushel. Now, in terms of cents, that's 4.6 cents per pound. Now the farmer gets a total of 8 cents per pound. He was getting 4 cents per pound back then. 1920.
Wow.
Wow.
But now, back in 1920, a farmer could sell a bushel of wheat, 56 pounds, bushel of wheat for $2.63, and he could go to the store and buy 22.8 loaves of bread. Now he can only buy 2.5 loaves of bread. He grow the wheat. If he sells the wheat to the market, you take the money, he can only buy 2.5 loaves of bread.
Wow. So that's the same price you were paying back then?
No, you were paying for bread back then, you were paying 11 cents. You paying $1.98 now. But the farmer ain't making no more money. So I'm going to put a movement out to the farmers. The hell with the city people. Let them eat bricks. Take your wheat, like we do at Muhammad Farms, grind it into flour, and sell it yourself or feed your family. But don't sell your wheat to the market, give it away. They don't be giving it away. And if the people want to live, let them come to your house and get some bread.
Yes.
Almost 100 years, and they're only making 6 cents more than they did 100 years ago.
That's right. What's happening is profitability has been drained out of agricultural production. The middle people are just making all the money off of you because you're lazy. You don't want to be in the kitchen no more. You'll be in a hot stove. Well, Okay, well guess what? We got something for you.
Yeah.
That's gonna blow you away. It's called GMO.
Yeah.
Hey. And in the bread, they got something called, what's that? Lecithin? No? What's the word? No, not lecithin. What's the other? No, not that. I can't think of the name. Anyway, it's L-cysteine. L-cysteine. That's hair. So it's okay for you to eat. I mean, for you to put Chinese hair on your head, but not in your bread. So that's where most of the hair comes from, is China. And the Chinese women put their placenta in their hair, so you're eating some of that too. Okay. Next. Get it from Muhammad Farms. Get it from the Brownwood Bakery. Or bake it yourself. Or you can be wind up eating placenta in Chinese hair. Everybody look at it. That nigga crazy. Go check it out.
That's right.
Use your smartphone. Google it. L-cysteine. Google it. Next slide. We almost finished. Here, ownership of the organic processed foods industry. General Foods, Kellogg's, ConAgra, Coca-Cola, Smuckers, Dean, Kraft. They own all of you. You think you getting organic? They done sold out to the big corporations.
Wow.
So I think Whole Foods. The black folks, I eat from Whole Foods. Oh, really? Do you eat from Whole Foods? Food. You better get it from Muhammad Farms. You better get it from the Staple Goods. You better get it from the ABLE program. You better get it from your gardens in the backyard. Otherwise, you being had. You been killed. If you notice, let me tell you something. Me and my wife noticed something up here recently at the DeKalb Farmers Market. Used to be nothing but foreigners engaged up at the DeKalb Farmers Market until about 10 years ago. And now you got some regular black folk come from church going this week. I said, some preacher done said something up here in Atlanta. This wasn't going down. This wasn't going down. They ain't getting no young people coming to church no more, right? And the old tithers are dying, huh? So they said, we better do something. We better teach people how to eat to live. Or we gonna have to buy the tithe. So now, black folks are down there at the DeKalb Farmers Market trying to get some decent food. It is funny. We can't take pictures in that movie. I want to take a picture, but you can't do it there, of the pork section. When they sell hog, nobody's over there no more.
No.
Nobody. Oh, you get fish, get a number. You understand? Chicken, get a number.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Turkey, get a number.
Get a number. Yes, sir.
But hog, whatever you want, step right up. If I was working there, that's where I want to work at.
You would have to.
I would have to do that all day. All day. I wouldn't have to touch it. I have gloves in there, but I don't have to touch it because what? Ain't nobody. Okay, next slide. We get out of here. Get out of here. So, I go back. This is what's evolved to where we are now. Okay? One company is buying up everything. Next slide. So, we got Muhammad Farms, 1,600 acres. We got a flour mill with dry mixes, the melons we growing down there. Next slide. What we got to do is set up cooperatively owned supermarkets across the country. We got to own everything from the land to the man. Okay? We even got to start having supper clubs again, where you can actually sell food out your home. He said, well, I don't want people up in my house. You ain't got, they ain't in your house, do them like McDonald's. You ever go into McDonald's on the inside? Ain't nobody in there.
No.
They got 2 lines on the outside. So you can do your supper club the same way. People call in advance, come to the back door, you stick it out the window, get your money, and there you go. You tell they complain about it, say you don't complain at McDonald's. That's what they do at McDonald's. That's what they used to do in the segregation too. Y'all didn't know that? You used to go around back, you have a slide in the door, you get your food. And now we're going around back to the slide in the door and get our food. and mess up your fine car. I don't understand that. You love your car so much, but you take all that grease in there. You know you bite that chicken the wrong way. It'll go all over the place, especially churches. You know you in a black neighborhood when you see a church.
Yeah.
And this comedian made a joke. Say, man, when you bite that chicken, did you point that in the other direction, please? He got so much grease in it. Oh, I'm sorry. You know you're in the black neighborhood when they have a church's chicken. They just be lined up for that church's chicken. Down in Albany, Georgia, they got a church's chicken across the street from the KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I be feeling sorry for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Because black folks be at church's chicken, boy, lined up. I don't know what they put in that chicken. I don't know how the pieces get so big. I don't know what this is. Okay, I mean, bigger. Okay, next slide. So, excuse me. So, what are we saying? Look, we need to have communities where we have farming, manufacturing, education, trade. You produce a product. Okay. What if Master Farad Muhammad decided to give us a blueprint on how to make some baby planes that we can manufacture for individual Jetsons transportation traffic?
Yeah.
Now, don't you know that put us on the map? We would be super rich and powerful if he gave us some blueprint. But the problem is, if he gave us a blueprint, we only got a few people who can read it.
Yes, sir.
And a few people who can work.
Yes, sir.
And a few people who can market it. So what's going to happen is the Chinese go pick up on it and they're going to run with it.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Farrakhan, when he gave us that information, he gave us information about the Chinese. And the Chinese say, in their own literature, now they say that they got a special agency in the Chinese government that is in communication with the people on the wheels. That's what they say. They say that's why they're getting technology. They can outstrip the West. They get it from the people on the wheel. I mean, they saying it. All I can see is they kicking behind. They kicking the West behind. So they saying where they get it from. I can argue with them. And what they gonna give to us when we ready? But we're not ready yet. We ain't doing nothing. If he see us start to move towards doing something, let's say we put all our engineers together and say we're gonna produce a car. And once he see we serious about producing a car, he may drop a few things on us, and we'll do it like this right here. You know, send an angel down here. You know, it'll be don't get spooky. You'll be a pure person.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And you know, why don't we do it like this? They say, you know, we don't have a superior machine. But he can't help you if you ain't trying to help yourself.
That's right. That's right.
When we get someone, they want to do is talk, blab them out about it. Look. See, we can do this. We can do this. See, I don't know about you, but we got it. See, we do how to do it. Okay, come on now. Let's get busy. Next slide. Boom. That's it. Someone like
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Do you when my wife came down to the farm? Do you remember that time when you threw me that watermelon? I dropped it, and then we just took a break and ate the whole thing right there?
No. I am not Minister Farrakhan.
I just thought I'd bring that up.
Because Mr. Farrakhan can't remember somebody that picked him up at the airport 25 years ago, 30 years ago. The person's name. Okay? He is a soul person. I mean, look, man, I don't know why people like Mr. Farrakhan. I was put on the post, I went to visit Mr. Farrakhan for the first time. He hugged me at the farm in Georgia, in Michigan. And he put his hand down my back. He hugged me and put his hand down my back. I felt like I was on Star Trek. I knew I just got scanned. Okay? I don't lie to the minister. Mr. Farrakhan asked me some information, I tell him. If I want to tell him, I shut my mouth. If he asks me again, I tell him. If he asks me about how people treating me, if they ain't been treating right, I won't say nothing. He's asked me a second time, I won't say nothing. He asked me a third time, I'm gonna get in trouble for what I do, but they gonna get in trouble because I didn't told a lie. I don't know why y'all play with that man. I'll tell you, that man now. I mean, You know, and so anybody else coming along talking about, well, you know, Mr. Farrakhan left me in charge. Okay, well, you on the committee, you in charge, whatever. But look here, you been on the plane. You done had direct communication with God. Okay, you's a brother and sister just like me.
Yes, sir.
Farrakhan had direct communication with God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he was chipped. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
He was downloaded. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And he been running off that program that he was downloaded with.
I'm gonna say that.
All right? The rest of this we gonna run by committee. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
All praise due to Allah. Any more questions? Any more questions? Listen, thank you very much for your hospitality. Thank you very much for asking me to be a part of this. I'm definitely behind what Teresa is doing here in Atlanta. See, this should be the example. I'm glad you got it out there. You can be an example for the rest of the nation. Okay? Oh, I almost forgot. Sales pitch for me. Please get Science and Business of Farming versus the Art and the Hobby of Gardening. Okay? This is just about everything I know in this book right here. $25. And then this is something here. This is a manual, a booklet we got, came out just this year. Sister Ann put together called Footsteps of the Messenger. As you know, in the Founders Day, we go on the footsteps of the messenger on that Sunday. And what she has is colored pictures of the different stops and the history behind these places where the messenger worked and lived. You know, he was in Georgia for 22 years. See, people think, he's in Georgia. Yeah, but he was in Cordell for about 20 of those years. He wasn't in Deep Step. He was in Cordell, Georgia, and that's where he saw the black people lynched at. Somebody who he knew personally. And so this here shows you the development in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of the hatred for white people. So when Master Farad Muhammad came and said what he said, it just drew the Honorable Elijah Muhammad out to reveal himself, to become himself. And now, Mr. Farrakhan in 2017, November 16, he made a statement about 1985 when he made the announcement that Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive and on the wheel and is working through him. See, white folks know Elijah don't like them. And Elijah has got the trigger.
Yes, sir.
He's the one that's going to be doing the killing. And white folks know that. And white folks know he don't like them. So they blew their own building up. The World Trade Center, they did that.
Yes, sir. Say that. Yes,
To
sir.
produce an engram against the Muslims because they can't come at us directly. They're trying to get our own people to come at us like we're the pariah. Because they can't come at us directly because they are afraid of the plane. They know about the plane.
They know about it. That's right.
All right? And now more and more they're letting it out. They're showing you videos now, huh?
Yes,
Military,
sir.
right? They've been
Yes,
knowing
sir.
about this. And your boy, Trump, I just love Trump. I love Trump.
Yeah, he gonna bring us together.
Oh, he bring her back, this bad boy down. He think he gonna do Star Wars. He want a space agency, right? And he gonna fight the wheel. Oh, let's get it on.
Hello.
Oh, fool, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, doctors, calm down, doctor, calm down. Okay, anything else? Well, thank you very much. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.